are Staten Island, a borough often overshadowed by the bustling energy of Manhattan, the cultural vibrance of Brooklyn, and the iconic landmarks of Queens. But Staten Island has its own stories to tell, stories that are far darker than you might expect, a place of quiet suburbs, sprawling parks, and a sense of community. Yet, beneath this serene exterior, lies a history that sends shivers down the spine. Something much darker lurking beneath its surface, an undercurrent of fear that has haunted its residents for decades. Have you ever heard the name Cropsey? A name that echoes through the streets and forests of Staten Island, whispered in fear and caution. They say he was a boogeyman, stalking the shadows, preying on children who wandered too far from safety. A figure of nightmares, conjured to keep the young from straying too far. A tale whispered in hushed tones by parents to keep their kids in line. But was it just a story? Or was there something more sinister behind the legend? Because sometimes legends have a way of bleeding into reality, blurring the line between myth and truth. The origins of Cropsey trace back to the 1970s and 80s, a time when Staten Island was grappling with its own set of challenges. Children began disappearing, vanishing into thin air. The community was gripped by fear as parents clung to their children a little tighter. Names like Jennifer Schweiger struck fear into the hearts of Staten Islanders. Her story was one of heartbreak and horror. She was 12 years old when she went missing in 1987, a bright young girl whose life was tragically cut short. Her body was later discovered buried on the grounds of an abandoned mental institution, Willowbrook State School, the place that had already earned its reputation as a house of horrors. Willowbrook itself was a nightmare, a breeding ground for horror. Its dark hallways seemed to hold secrets that no one dared to uncover. Once a facility for children with disabilities, it became notorious for its inhumane conditions. Overcrowding, neglect and abuse were rampant, dark hallways, screams echoing through the night, and shadows that seemed to move on their own. It was a place where nightmares came to life. It's here that the legend of Cropsey found its home, feeding off the fear and despair that lingered in the air. But here's where the story takes a chilling twist. What if Cropsey wasn't just a figment of imagination? Cropsey wasn't just a ghost story. He had a name, a face, and a history that was all too real. In 1987, Andre Rand, a former Willowbrook janitor, was arrested and convicted for the kidnapping and murder of Jennifer Schweiger. His connection to the institution only deepened the community's fears. Many believe he was the living embodiment of Cropsey, a real-life monster hiding in plain sight, a man who turned the legend into a horrifying reality. Others think he was just the scapegoat for a community desperate to put a face to the horror, a convenient villain for an unspeakable tragedy. Even now, the legend persists. The name Cropsey still sends chills down the spines of those who hear it. Some say Cropsey still roams Staten Island, searching for his next victim, a shadow that never truly fades. Others claim his spirit haunts the ruins of Willowbrook, forever tied to the horrors that unfolded there, a ghostly reminder of the past. So, the next time you're walking through the woods or passing by an old, forgotten building, remember, legends like Cropsey exist for a reason. They remind us of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. Sometimes, the most terrifying monster are the ones who walk among us. Sweet dreams.